Hello everybody out there in the Octane Outlaws world. We are on to week 6 here at Martinsville. Intro was cut a little bit short because qualifying is underway. We're going to hop on board with a couple drivers here, see how they're doing. Patrick Mitrovic getting out there for his flying laps. Coffee already has a 19.27 set down here in quali. We are coming to you just as quali is getting underway, so we're not missing any of the action today. We're at Martinsville for the Half Mile Mayhem 200 in the Octane Outlaws inaugural season. Races today are, or the league is brought to you by TH Designs and Soapbox Painting Co. out of Wisconsin. So 2 painting companies, one virtual, one real, one based in Wisconsin. Soapbox Painting Co. Anything you need painted, go to them. TH Designs, any virtual paints you need for iRacing, hit up TJ Hanley. He is a wizard with the paints. You always see his beautiful TH Designs livery out there. But as of right now, Patrick, one of the only ones to get qualifying. We have 10 minutes of qualifying. We're already 2.5 minutes in, so we're looking pretty good. Couple cars out there. Let's hop on board Corey Buchanan, see how he's doing. An updated paint. Cyberpunk paint looks pretty neat, but we are dealing with 79-degree track temps, 77-degree air temps, 250 laps today for the Half Mile Mayhem 200. We are on a half-mile track here. It's the, if I am reading it right, the shortest track that NASCAR runs. Blaine Wilson here in the DeWalt number 20. Get this display off the screen. See these guys go around. Blaine Wilson, we'll see a nice little chopper view here. And these guys, these first couple laps, they're looking to just set down a scorcher. Frederick Larson here. Feels like a cowboy riding these things. Yeehaw. He is new to the league as of this week. He did the for fun off week that we did the Dirt Bristol, but he is in the WA Broadcasting car down there in the 77. He sets down a respectable time there in 4th, only 12 tenths off. And for a road racer coming to the league, that's not too bad. If he jumps up at all, nope, Larson does not. Blaine Wilson on his laps. Wilson normally up there with the leaders. Won a couple races for us here in the Octane Outlaws, and he gets a lap that does not improve. Noah Miller, let's see how Noah Miller does. Well, it looks like he might be reeling it in here. Greg Pillar in the 00 car out of North Waterboro. Looks like he might be done with his lap too. We're grabbing everybody at the end of their laps here. David Guimond also done with his laps, and everybody is in the pits currently. David just chilling on track though. Get a blimp view. TJ Handley here, sitting out on track too. He pulled out of the pits, didn't like what he was feeling in the car, jumps back in the pits. I'll follow TJ Handley around. He is one of our sponsors of TH Designs. Obviously, the TH Designs all over. And oh no, he loses it. He's gonna have to work on the warming of the tires. See if he can't get out there. Richard Kreuzer out there too in the number 90 machine. One of the other sponsors. 2 sponsors on track right now. Richard runs that Soapbox Painting Co. design. Looks like Kreuzer has gotten his 1 lap in. 2 seconds behind. He might not have liked what he was feeling. We got Mockwin going around now in a 5 machine. Michael Mockwin, let's see what he's got. Yeah, front left, a little, might have been a little lock up there. And Mockwin He's in 11th there. TJ Hanley goes up to 5th. TJ Hanley going around. He's going to get a couple laps, and we always see this from TJ. He likes to get a little mini warm-up session going here. As you can see, coming out of the corners, the car is either a little too loose or a little too stiff, and these guys are trying to get on the power, and they're just turning the car, and that can be a recipe for disaster on cold tires. TH Designs livery looking good in the lights of Martinsville here tonight. I'm not seeing anybody else on the track. Jump to a nice little blimp view of TJ going around the track here. But for everybody out there, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, little like button there. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want to see more of the WA Broadcasting schedule. But as of right now, we're going to pull up our results of qualifying, and actually, since they're not over, we don't have results yet, so I'm just gonna stay right there. And TJ Hanley just putting down laps. The only two that have not run a qualifying lap are Casey Ellis and Dakota Cleland. So Dakota and Casey, I'm not sure if they have an EOL or what they'll be doing here today. If they have an EOL, then that's never a fun time. But it happens to the best of us. Dakota coming off a bad week last week. We want to see him get back up into the points, the higher points. And TJ's had a couple really good finishes. Watkins, he finished really well. I don't think he's finished below a top 5 or 6. So he's been doing quite a good job. We see him coming down, practicing his pit entry right there. Pit entry here is going to be rough. As you can see, there's pit stops all around that edge. As we, let's take a look down pit lane. Pit lane number 1 camera, maybe pit lane number 2. Nope, just wants to kick us to the scenic camera. No matter what we do, since there are no cars on track. We got 1 minute, so not too long to have to go about things. But right now we have Kyle Heath in first, Alex Coffey in second, William Smith in third, the new guy from Denmark, Frederick Larsen in fourth, TJ Hanley in fifth, Noah Miller in sixth, Corey Buchanan in 7th, Blaine Wilson in 8th, Patrick Mitrovic in 9th. Here we go. Patrick Mitrovic in 9th. Zachary Steele in 10th, Michael Mockman in 11th, Greg Pillar in 12th, Tommy Thompson in 13th, David Guiman in 14th, Richard Kreuzer in 15th, George Buck in 16th, and the others will not have time to get a lap down because we are counting down the seconds. 2, 1, and the session should be closing for qualifying. Casey Ellis will start in 17th and Dakota Cleland in 18th. So let's see our grid as we read it off there. Cycle down and let you all see it. And I was told today I should bring extra drinks for this broadcast because there will be a lot going on and a lot of incidents on track, a lot of bumping, a lot of cars really trying to a lot of cars really trying to get in each other's grill here as we get lined up on the starting grid. Kyle Heath is going to lead us, Alex Coffey behind, William Smith in third, and Frederick Larsen in that second row. This is going to be a fun one to watch. We got some newcomers. We got the first ever short track in Octane Outlaws history here. We'll be getting underway in just a moment. Make some room on the screen. Mom Kelly Coffee saying, "Go Coffee." Alex is yet to grid up. He's got a couple seconds here though. Blaine Wilson and Alex Coffee not on the track yet. Last minute team changes here going on maybe. We have William Smith bumping off the track. Alex Coffee on the track there now in the Monster 54. And Blaine Wilson on track in his DeWalt 20 machine. Here we go. Pace car is going to get us moving around the track. We have 2 laps and then we go green. And Kyle Heath, like I said, he will be the one leading us behind that pace car. He will have the jump. There's not a whole lot of room for a decision on when to go. It's just, you know, ready, set, go. But we'll see if these guys stick 2 lines or if these guys decide that we want to do 1 line and kind of shuffle in. We'll see if we even get that far. This is going to be the, like I said, the very first short track. We do amazing at the 1.5 mile tracks. Very, very clean. Very few incidents. Very few flags. So we will see how that goes. We do have stages at laps 63, 126, and 189. Here we go. Pace car will be coming in after this turn here. You'll see him duck down, and then Kyle Heath will lead him. There he goes down into the pits, and we are led by Heath. See how much he bunches the pack up here. Heath is going to have the go-ahead any second now. There he goes. Heath is off. Coffee on the outside of him. Looks like Larson might have dropped back a tiny bit on that outside line. Yes, he did. He's down into 5th. William Smith up into 2nd here. Let's see if he can make something happen for 1st. Larson getting shuffled way back. Not liking that outside line at all. Corey Buchanan, though, he is up a position, and Patrick Mitrovic's up 4 positions on that start. Great start to the race for the admin team. All the beautiful liveries of the cars here. Gotta watch out for that pit lane wall. That's gonna be a killer for somebody. Kyle Heath leading us still. Hanging in there in 1st place. Tommy Thompson and Frederick Larson. Ooh, Frederick Larson goes around. And we should have a safety car from that. Yes, we do. 2 cars getting together. 1 going around, touching the wall. Lots of bumping there. Larson trying to get it up in the right direction there. Let's see what we had go on here. We have Larson going a little slower than he probably wanted to on that full tank. And, oh, he just gets, turned almost right into the wall. Just a little bump and run there. And then the number 5 of Michael Mockwin, he stops on track, avoiding the incident. Who was that gave the bump? I can't even see the number on that car behind the 77. Not any of these guys here. Tommy Thompson. Oh, it's Thompson. If we jump back to it. Go to Tommy Thompson. And there he goes. Just a little bit of a bump. Gets Frederick Larson loose. And around he goes. Facing the wrong way. That's unfortunate. Back to live, because we should be almost done with our first caution here. Justin Potts giving a shout out to all the drivers, saying good luck, everybody. As of right now, I mean, what, we are 5 laps in? Is that what I'm seeing? 5 laps in. And we have already had a caution. Larson qualified fantastic. He is back in last place. Currently a lap, 2 laps down. I'm not sure with when that caution was thrown, if he's going to get cycled back up to the main lap, since he was in the middle getting turned there, but we'll see. This is kind of in the middle of the pack there. That outside line, much different. You saw a lot of drivers kind of suffer and get pulled back. Larson, the biggest loser out of that, 14 positions back. Alex Coffey is down 1 position from William Smith, and then Noah Miller is down 2 positions from where he started. Michael Mock went down 1, and that might have been due to avoiding the Larson wreck going on. But a lot of guys moving up. We got Will Smith is up into 2nd, TJ Hanley up in 3rd. Nope, he's in 4th. He's just pacing right now. But we're already done with our first caution. That's the beautiful thing about these short tracks. Lights are out on the pace car, which means they'll be going in after this lap. Kyle Heath still leading us in the 53 machine. Chevy out front. Next Chevy is Patrick Mitrovic in 5th. He would love to have a good return here this week in Martinsville. Kyle Heath has the green flag. Let's see. And there he goes. Green flag is underway. Kyle Heath gets a good jump. Wow, a really good jump out of car's length ahead of Alex Coffey. Coffey is going to be fighting William Smith on the outside of him there in the 97 machine. Let's see how these drivers fall in line, if they're all going to go low, or if we have TJ Hanley getting might have been gotten a little bit of a shove outside. Not quite sure what happened there. TJ is way on the outside. He's having a rough go dropping back. This is the same thing we saw happen to Larson is happening to Noah Miller, TJ Hanley, and Michael Moquin here in the 5 machine. And we have Dakota Cleland going around almost. He gets going again. Almost pumps at 28. We're going to have Kyle Heath coming up behind him, though, very shortly. And there we go. There's going to be our second caution for sure. Caution comes out very quickly. Greg Pillar getting the meatball flag with... we only have 1 fast repair this week. Only 1 fast repair. Pillar getting the meatball flag. Caught up in that Casey Ellis, Richard Kreuzer, Greg Pillar, Noah Miller, Frederick Larson, and Michael Moquin. Let's see what we have going on here. Greg Pillar going through his turn in 00 car there. He is on the outside. We'll play it in full. Oh, wow. Not maybe he's trying some Tokyo Drift. I'm not sure what happened there. But he just... It's almost like he cranked his wheel left real hard. Not quite sure what happened there. Let's try and see his cockpit view here before we get going. There we go. Cockpit view, you see he's going. Then all of a sudden it's almost like this. Oh, what? He didn't even turn his wheel. Let's see this again. Slow it down. He's just going straight, and then all of a sudden it just almost like there was some extreme netcode going on there. Maybe the game thought it was him touching Richard Kreuzer. Not sure, but we're going back to live because caution's almost over. By the time we review this crash, we're already onto our caution almost being done. Once again, that's a beautiful thing about the short tracks. Should see lights going out. Nope, we still have a little bit of time. But looking back on that Greg Pillar, let's see if he gets close to Richard Kreuzer here to no, he's just nowhere near anybody, and it just pulls him to the left. That must have been some extreme netcode going on there. That is wild. But still sitting up in front. No need to pit yet from any of these drivers unless they had some damage. Greg Pillar there. Not sure if he had pit yet. Frederick Larson, not sure if he's pit yet. Looks like Greg Pillar, yep, did leave the pit, so he is out of the pit lane. Kyle Heath is right behind the safety car there. Coffee up on that front row once again. William Smith in third. Patrick Mitrovic up 5 positions. He's going to be in that second row. He is making some headway. 4th place for the number 4 car. The number 10 car is just scraping the wall. Not sure what he's doing. David Guiman back there. All right, let's see what we got going. Kyle Heath is on the gas. There he goes. Doesn't get a great jump away from Alex Coffey, but let's see if some of these drivers, like Mitrovic, starts to fall off because they're on the outside line. Doesn't not look like it. Alex Coffey here having to take that outside line. Let's see if he can make that outside line work for him. You definitely get a little bit more down the straightaway, and then you get some more tire life. And you see that tends to happen. You get a tiny bit on that outside line. Mitrovic is right there with him. If he can keep Coffey to the outside line, he's going to have a hard time fighting this. You really have to be careful on that outside line. See a little bit of chippiness a couple places back. Zachary Steele cutting off the new driver in that 19, nope, Corey Buchanan, 19 machine racing against Frederick Larson here, as Frederick Larson gives a little bit of a bump to Corey Buchanan. Leader pulling away. Coffee starting to pull away. Everybody's starting to file in now, which is good. It's when people are side by side and really fighting and bumping, that is when we have some incidents going on. But as of right now, doing okay. Holding our lines, holding that low line. That's what we like to see. Kyle Heath pulling away. Coffee right there. Mitrovic's right there in 4th. We'll hold on Patrick Mitrovic here. He is doing a fantastic job staying clean, keeping his nose out of trouble. And we are starting to have another caution. There we go. No caution yet. No caution yet. And there we go. A caution there. These drivers came together. We're right in front of the track. Took a second for it to register all the incident points, but there we are. Michael Mokwin turned sideways in the middle of the track. You never like to see that from a driver. Let's see what happened here with TJ Hanley and Michael Mokwin. And here they come. Both of them into the turn here. Mokwin, gets a little bit of a bump there from Richard Kreuzer. And, into the wall. Sideways, sliding almost into traffic. And Hanley can't, oh wow, that was really close. Hanley can't get going right away. And then Mokwin, he gets moving again. That is not what you like to see from 2 of the TH Design cars. As you see, Hanley is on the outside, and he really can't do anything here. Richard Kreuzer, a little bit slow on the exit. Might be feeling some of that tire wear, but and then you have nowhere to go as TJ Hanley. You're just waiting for number 5 to get out of the way there. Very unfortunate for Hanley. But I have a feeling almost everybody is going to get into one of these little, spin outs out of the turn, or a little bit of a bump going into the turn, because everybody's got a little different spot that they want to break, and how long they're going to break, how hard they're going to break. Everybody's is just slightly different. And these oval guys, they are used to going almost flat out and letting off, you know, just that little bit. Here you have to do a little bit more trail braking than you would almost like a typical short track running like late models or you know, something of that kind of nature. And you know, it's just a whole different kind of animal running these races than it is running a typical 1.5 miles, and way different than running restrictor plate races on Daytona and Talladega. I gotta move up somewhere. There's somebody just dragging something or just scraping the wall. Not quite sure who it is. Kyle Heath still holding there. Heath doing very well. Oh, there it is. It's number 20. That's Blaine Wilson. What happened to Wilson? What is he doing? Is he scraping the wall? I am not quite sure what Blaine Wilson's doing there. He was like down on the apron, like bumping up and down where it's really rough and all the marbles are. That was odd. Third caution, lap number 27. So we're about 10% of the way done here tonight. We'll get going here in a good stint. I know it. We got to do it sometime. These guys are really clean on the 1.5 miles. They're still figuring each other out on the short track. So here we go. Kyle Heath leading us. Alex Coffey there on that low line. He doesn't want to get pushed to that top side. He knows what happens. William Smith right there. He's going to try and take that low line away from Coffey. Cannot do it. He's blinking all over the place. And at 97, sounds like we have a couple people sliding out. Oh, yep, right there, as we have... Definitely have something going on in the back. We had 16x happen there in a very short amount of time. Sorry to send off a quick message because we are race control up here in the booth too. I'm just seeing if we are going to keep our same amount. Oh, number 10. Goeman going down into Hanley there. Boom. Boom. Another, oh wow, up into Larson there. Goeman not really holding his brakes. He's stomping the gas right there. That is going to cause a yellow every time. We'll see it from Frederick Larson's point of view. Coming in, bump. Ooh, he sees it happening. He hits the brakes, just goes up high. And he's got, ooh, the rear end of a car coming at him from the side. That's, you don't see that too often. Trying to turn himself around while there's still cars coming through the turn with a nice little spin. But, yeah, watch out there. Obviously, some of these drivers getting a little frustrated. Quite the little incident show we got going on. This time, not as bad as Daytona on the start, but we are only 33 laps in. We are at 100 incidents as of right now. So if this trend continues, you're going to see A lot more incidents. A lot more cautions. We don't like to do cautions, but when you know, cars are turned in the middle of the track, short tracks are notorious for it. We gotta throw it. We gotta make sure everybody is not gonna be running into a brick wall at full speed, because short tracks, these corners are pretty much blind. You're throwing the car into it, you have very little time to react. If somebody's, let's say, in turn 4 down low and you're on the line, you have no time to react at all. You have half a second and then you're toast. See you later. But right now we got Heath, Coffee, Smith in the same spots they started. Mitrovic's in 4th now, and Tommy Thompson in 5th, and they will be top 5, leading us to the green flag here again. Kyle Heath, let's see what he does. See if he can't get a pull away from Alex Coffey. See if the rest of the field can hold it together here. Kyle Heath gets a great jump right away. He goes right as he has the opportunity to. Definitely a car length at least away from the cars ahead of him. See Kyle Heath still doing a good job pulling away. Let's jump to the pack and see how everybody is settling in. Do we have a 5th caution already? What happened? How are we under caution again? That one was weird. Hit through a caution. A bunch of people got together, it shows in the incidents, but it does not show what that means. Goyman crashed. Oh. Maybe that triggered it, right? Then he stops. I'm not sure what Goyman's doing. Yeah, I don't think we are so used to the short track racing. See a couple drivers getting back onto the lead lap here. Not quite sure what was happening there with under caution too. Like, we gotta hold it together, guys. I understand it's a long race. You know, we're gonna be really trying to make these cars last, and we only get 1 fast repair. I think our normal is 2, but gotta hold it together here. David Goyman getting a little frisky there on one of the laps. Looks like everybody's on the main lap again. Amazingly, somehow everybody got back on the main lap. Yeah, just can't be doing stuff like that under caution. It's gonna just trigger another one right away. We can't be doing it. Safety car is still flashing. Still can't believe that happened. These guys just trucking along, and Guillermin just turns right into Kreuzer there. Not sure what he's doing. It's unbelievable. But we are lights out on the pace car here. Like I said, short track is a different animal from doing your regular mile and a halves, even mile long tracks. I mean, it's a completely different thing. If you didn't grow up doing short tracks or living around short tracks, you know, you might not know how to handle it. Might not know how to handle the cars around you, especially in these next gen cars. They don't handle it as well as a late model. But Kyle Heath has the green, and there he goes. Great jump away from William Smith. Alex Coffey on that outside line again. He's able to hold in there on the outside, and he files right in. Oh, he's going to try and take that inside line from Heath. Maybe take the lead here as they're bumping. And Coffee does take the lead from Heath. Wow, what a move there. He does a side shuffle right in front of Heath. And Coffee is now in first. Heath is on the outside line. Oh no, we have William Smith going around. And that is going to throw a caution. William Smith there getting a little out of control. But that was a big spin nonetheless. Let's see the replay of it here. As we're coming out of turn number 1. Oh, William Smith. He just gets bumped by the race lead, or the second place Kyle Heath right there. Unfortunate. Let's look at the cockpit view here of Smith. Oh, yep, he does his little blink, and then there he is right on the inside, just bumping around. He has nothing to get him going there. He's trying. He's in 4th gear, can't get moving. We look at Kyle Heath's point of view. He goes down. The car, to Heath's defense, the car does disappear off the track for William Smith, so that's a rough one to judge when the car isn't even on the track. So William Smith, we've been seeing having blinking problems the past couple races. And we do wish we could have more drivers out here. As Brewer Plays points out, would love to be racing here on Fridays. It's a great place to be on a Friday night. Great group of drivers. We don't typically see 6 cautions in 46 laps, but we do see some of the cleaner racing I've seen on the 1.5 miles. And here we go. Pace car in. Led by Coffee this time. Kyle Heath is going to try and get that position back. Patrick Mitrovic's up in the 3rd with that incident. Tommy Thompson up in the 4th doing great. And here we go. Coffee is off. He gets a good jump on Mitrovic's, but Heath is staying with him. Mitrovic's is going to have to fight off Thompson. Patrick Mitrovic's looks like he's going to have a good run out of that turn, but Thompson getting jumped on by Richard Kreuzer and Blaine Wilson. We almost are going 3 wide in the back here, bumping the wall, and we're going to have an incident here. Tommy Thompson, and there we go. Safety car is deployed. We just got to keep it clean, guys. That's all we got to do. Keep it clean, boys. 3 wide. I actually think that's one of the rules. 3 wide after a start is not supposed to happen for 2 or 3 laps. I'd have to check the rule book on it. But I believe we just went 3 wide there for the first time. Probably not the first time in this race. First time I've caught. Let's see how this one turned out. And we are 3 wide there. William Smith, Ellis is there. It's not really what causes it, but oof. William Smith into the wall. And there we go. Richard Kreuzer just getting, he's getting pushed by Blaine Wilson, so he can't really like hit the brakes and lay off. But Tommy Thompson was having a hard go on the wall there. Yeah, he just has a bad exit on that outside line, smacks the wall, and just gets into Kreuzer, and Kreuzer gets into everybody else. William Smith And Thompson somehow shuffles his way right back in the line. I'm not quite sure how that happens. We'll jump back to live. We should be pretty close to being done with the caution. Still 2 more laps, looks like. We'll jump to our chat and see. I believe that's the number 39 of Zachary Steele. I saw it. Third Infantry says, let's go number 5. You're number 5, Michael Mockwin there. And I hope I'm saying Michael's name right. He hasn't corrected me in Discord quite yet. But Michael Mockwin, number 5, in 9th place. Not doing too bad. Right there in the middle of the field. He's smack dab, 50%. 9 out of 18 drivers right now. Yep, Zachary Steele saying, I am the 39 car. Thought you were. Kelly with the keen ears is hearing upstairs my 2-month-old little man Luca. So the mom hearing the little baby cry all the way upstairs. Keen ears there, Kelly. All right, here we go. Alex Coffey going to be leading us. Off he goes. Him and Heath. You would think that they had the same gas pedal there, almost in unison. Get a great jump. I'm hearing a lot of bumping going on in the back, but yep, looks like we do have a safety car. Somebody spun out. George Buck has crashed. Let's see what happened here. We haven't even gotten going yet. See what happens to Buck. At 1, 2, 3, 4 cars touching, and that will trigger it. Might have to bump our safety car threshold up just a tiny bit, because we have done nothing but run cautions except for about 5 laps. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't talk to the stewards here. And yes, Luca, we spell his name with 2 Ks, Lukka. And yeah, he is just went for his 2-month check appointment very short time ago, a couple weeks or a couple days. Sorry. I don't know what the deal is with Blaine driving on that inside line. I don't know if he likes going for a little bit of a bumpy ride there or what, but Blaine just every time you just see him bump, going. Yeah, we are. Yeah, he just does it every time. I don't know if he's trying to cool his tires down, if he likes scraping up the bottom of the car. Alex still leading us here. Once again, let's check out that George Buck incident. We just get going at the beginning. I'm not quite sure. Some of these drivers are getting a real deep dive and then just almost crashing down like there's not another car on the inside. You always gotta, if you're on that outside line, expect there to be another car there. Gotta expect there to be another car there. We're going. What just happened here? Tommy Thompson crash. Quite literally under caution. What are we doing, boys? Thompson just runs into the back of the 28 of George Buck. Gotta be paying attention, guys. I know we're going slow, but keep them eyes open. But let's take a quick look at our big jumps in the race so far. Lights are out, so we'll be going green real quick. Patrick Mitrovic's here in third. He's up 6 positions. Dakota Cleveland is up 10 positions from 18th, so last to 8th right now. Keep an eye on these guys being in the middle of the pack. Alex Coffey will lead us. Here we go. Coffey has the green, and he's off. Great jump on Mitrovic again, but Heath right there with him. Mitrovic's hoping to hold on there. So far, so good. Nobody taking each other out yet. We're only half a lap in, though. I just got word that the pace car's pit time was 0.2 seconds, and he is back to being good. I think the pace car has led the most laps here. As Mitrovic has something going on with him. Oh, there it is. There's the caution. Mitrovic was in third. Not sure how he got spun or if he's just getting a little bit of cold tires here. Obviously, running around the track at 35, 50 miles an hour is not going to do it. There goes his front bumper. Gonna have to come down pit lane here. See what happened to Mitrovic. Oh, he gets turned by Blaine Wilson. Blaine Wilson just drove through him. Oh, and Patrick has nowhere. He's right in the middle of the turn. He has nowhere to go. Almost looked like he might have been trying to get down to the pit lane. And there we go. Pillar getting himself right back. Going the right direction. There we go. There's Mitrovic here. Let's try it again. Yeah, Blaine Wilson just right there. He sticks his nose in. Blaine Wilson might have been getting a little bit antsy, but everybody seems to be entering the pit. So let's go live, see who's in. Heath is in. Coffey's out still. Wilson out still. Miller out still. Zachary Steele in 39 car. Up into fourth, he's out still. Cannon, Cleland, Larson, all out. So we have Heath, Hanley, Mockwin, Guimond, Mitrovic. Obviously, he needs to get that car fixed up. And George Buck getting his tires and car fixed on up. This is stage caution, too, by the way. So we were going to stop at lap 63 anyway. It just happened to be a caution at the same time. So stage is here. We're on the stage. And we are one lap to green. Cars getting in, getting out. They're going to have to really hurry up and catch up. Mitrovic's trying to get around the track, get caught up with Coffey. They're coming down the track here. He should be able to. It's only I think a 19 second lap, 20 if you're going slow. Coffey's going to have to jump. Mitrovic's coming around the back here. Coffey in the front. Here comes Mitrovic with a perfect jump here on George Buck in the back. Alex Coffey getting going. Noah Miller in second in the 8 machine. Guimond on the inside. Yeah, just stay down there, Guimond. David just got to stay out of the way. Wilson and Miller, though, side by side. Wilson trying to keep that outside line working for him. We got Kreuzer and Dakota, Cleland. That sounds like crashing. And we are another full course yellow. Not sure why. Let's take a look. That's Kreuzer, Thompson, and Smith. Let's see what happens here. Kreuzer, Thompson, Smith. Smith right on the bumper. Smith dives in a little deeper than Kreuzer would like. Bumps, bumps, bumps. Bunch of 4Xs. We are going to get with the stewarding committee here and see if we can't have a little bit more lenient of a race, because that was not caution warranting. Looks like the stewards are going to be a little bit more lenient here on the cautions. And by stewards, I mean the software has been adjusted up. So we have a higher incident threshold for these drivers to hit. We will keep eyes out here. We jump live. 10th caution in 69 laps. That is coming up on 70 laps here. 70 laps, 10th caution. We're normally running about 3 to 4 laps per caution. So we've run more caution than we have race, which means the pace car does currently lead the race in laps led. We got it, guys. We can pull it together. We can do it. I believe in everybody. We can get going green. But yeah, 40 mile an hour around a half mile. Doesn't take long to get around, but definitely is a lot longer than when you're going full speed. Thankfully, we're short track with this many cautions. I know doing Daytona, we had quite a few cautions. I want to say we had like 15 or 16 throughout the race. We are almost an hour into this one, though. And we are not quite halfway there. We are a little over a quarter of the way there. I'm really hoping this isn't a 4-hour race, but I know we can fly through this race if we get going on green. And that's what we're going to do here. Alex Coffey leading us to the start zone. We're getting a little bumpy here on the 39 car on Blaine Wilson, and Coffey's away. Looks like Noah Miller gets a great jump. Blaine Wilson gets a good jump too, going real deep into the zone with the brakes, and somebody's getting bumped wide. Ooh, somebody... Oh, no, that is Alex Coffey sideways. He's going to get going again. I don't think he touched anybody. Coffey just a 2x for losing control. Blaine Wilson's in the lead of this race. Alex Coffey in the back again. Costly mistake for him. He is fast enough to catch up to these drivers, but not sure how this is going to happen. This would be the most unlucky time for everybody to stay green and for him to not be able to catch up with the yellow. You see Casey Ellis going wide. He's just got to let off that gas, or we're almost going to be 3 wide here with TJ Handley. Unexpected turn there for Alex Coffey. He's normally very smooth, very clean. Everybody setting personal bests. Side by side here. So we have Frederick Larson getting back up to almost where he started. He's in 5th now, started in 4th. Blaine Wilson up 7 positions, leading the race in the number 20 machine. We're going to take a look and see what happened to Alex Coffey here while these guys are getting all sorted out. And looks like he's pretty far up there by himself. And no, I think he caught a little bit of a bump on the back corner. And then he just gets himself going right back. Blaine Wilson still leading us in the 20. Noah Miller quick on his tail. Zachary Steele in 3rd. Up 7 positions is Zachary Steele. Corey Buchanan in 4th. We are going to jump to Michael Oh, we have a bunch of cars sideways in the middle of the track. And that is going to hit a caution threshold. Not even sure if anybody turned Mockwin. And Mockwin and Kreuzer got together there. Didn't trigger the yellow. Because There's only the two cars and very little contact here. Croys are just getting on it a little early. Yeah, we didn't hit our threshold, but they're right in the middle of the track. That's a hard thing. Sometimes you have some bumps. Sometimes you have some that count for more incident points. Sometimes you have less incident points. But a bigger caution there. We'll see Richard Kreuzer in his cockpit just gets going. And you see that wheel still turned pretty far left. Still in steering lock, and yep, there he goes. He just tries getting back on track, out of the way, and the whole field comes up behind him. Nope, there is our number 39 into the wall there. Blaine Wilson leading lap 81. 11th caution. I think there should maybe be a rule to not go even too wide. We should have single file starts when we do our short tracks, because that seems to be the issue that we run into right away. Noticing it is that we have guys side by side. The outside line is not ideal even in the slightest bit. And yeah, it's just not an ideal situation to be on that outside line. So I wish iRacing would introduce the ability to have the choose your starting position, inside outside line, like they do real life. I know we're starting to do stages here with the cautions with our software, but iRacing hasn't even introduced the stages part. That's something that we do manually on our side. So it would be really, really neat, iRacing, I hope you're listening out there, to introduce the being able to pick your high line or low line to start after each caution. Because some drivers might feel comfortable on that high line, some might not. They might feel really uncomfortable and have to be on the low. Unfortunate to see some of these cars are getting really damaged up and might be getting off track here. But Blaine Wilson now, I think our third different leader that we've had so far in the race, is gonna bring us to the green. Noah Miller behind him on the outside. Dakota Cleland and Patrick Mitrovic on that second line. And there we go, going on the inside. Larson got a good jump I saw there in the back, right behind Zachary Steele here now. Wilson, great jump up. Dakota Cleland and teammate Patrick Mitrovic right behind him. Casey Ellis, Zachary Steele, Frederick Larson. Here we go, Greg Pillar. A little bit farther behind Larson. This group, though, up front, holding together pretty good. We are single file as of right now. Kreuzer, Kreuzer turning George Buck. And we have a car backwards on track. Right in the middle of the turn, and we're going to get a yellow for that. Good thing we did. George Buck was coming down right in the middle of the turn. So iRacing does not have to choose the high or low line. Some leagues might have a way of doing it manually. They might do a single file restart, and then you just, they ignore the rules of iRacing, or the instructions of iRacing to stay single file. So that might be something that the admins look into. Obviously, Season 1, some of the kinks getting worked out still. Short tracks are, like we said, a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. And it seems like it's right now some of the guys in back having a hard time. I'm not sure if it's tires being cold. You really got to watch out with that. Cold tires are not good for racing. The track is cool, which helps us out quite a bit on the track. Yeah, it might be worth the Octane guys in the admin looking into how to do that, or like I said, starting single file even on short tracks. Starting single file, I think, would solve a couple of the side-by-side on cold tires issues that we're seeing here. It just seems like a lot of the times it's either A, going into a corner, and the braking zones are completely different for some of these cars, depending on who's going to trail brake more and who's going to brake a little bit harder going down the straight before you actually start rotating the car. But if you're single file, then, you know, the worst you're going to have is a couple bumps in the back from, you know, a car behind you, rather than a car that's side by side with you trying to gas it too much and turn it into you. We've seen Richard Kreuzer do it once, and we've seen a couple other cars do it. I think maybe for the short tracks, that might be something that admin look into going forward. We'll relay the messages to the guys in the admin. They always watch the stream back, so they see everybody in the audience's discussion on it too. Should be one more lap to green. And there, the lights off. We'll line up side by side. Coming down our backstretch. Some pretty good looking liveries there, I will say. As the pace car jumps down into the pits. Blaine Wilson side by side with Noah Miller. Let's see if they have a good jump here, if they have a struggle bus time. And looks like we have Blaine Wilson getting a good jump. Gets to that outside. Gonna jump to the middle of the pack here, and we'll see if we have any destruction going on, or if we're gonna get away with some clean racing. Yep, see, that's what happens. We have two guys going side by side. One gets thrown wide. Greg Pillar having a hard time there, keeping where he wants to. And yep, there it is. Almost called it. Comes down onto Alex. And that's going to be a caution. It's almost like I called what was about to happen there. Commentator's curse, you might say. But could have just been some astute observation as to what's been going on track all race. So I'm going to get with our admins here. I'm going to jump into their chat and see if we want to continue side by sides, or if we want to try and do single file restarts. And I know they're in the race right now, so we're going to see what we have going on with that. I'll be right back, folks. All right, getting there with the admin. We are going to try a single file restart here. You guys might have seen me do it on the screen. It's not a hotkey of mine, so we are going to see Blaine Wilson come to the checker flag here, and we're going to stay single file. We're going to test this out in live, real time, how a single file restart's going to be. See if that makes any sort of difference here. Pace car's in. Hope everybody else got the memo from the admin team. Single file restart from Blaine Wilson. And he gets going. Great jump from him. Dakota Cleland in third, Patrick Mitrovic in fourth, Casey Ellis, Frederick Larson side by side here. Zachary Steele. So much for the single file. Some of these guys getting mixed up in a little bit of side by side action, but that's okay. If we're feeling good with it and we get going, that's fine. Get tires up to temp. Let's get moving, and then we'll do some side by side action. TJ Hanley having a rough go right now. We look back at TJ, no front end whatsoever. But the battle going on. Larson moving up a couple positions, gets by William Smith and Casey Ellis to start this. Zachary Steele in 39 looking to, oh no, Heath is able to save it. Wow, Heath just prevented a caution right there. He is faster than some of these cars in the back here. It's just there's 2 and 3 wide. Heath, oh, that's going to cause a caution right there. That is very unfortunate. Cars sideways all over the track. Heath just trying to stay in front of Blaine Wilson. He doesn't want to get a lap down. Let's see what happened there. The first one he's able to save. Second one, not so much. This is Heath right here. Just seems like maybe a little bit of cold tire action. Just loses the rear, smacks Tommy Thompson, just clips the number 19 of Corey Buchanan. Corey Buchanan not having a good time. Backwards in the Cyberpunk car, trying to get out of the racing line, which is the up high, while still getting going. But yeah, it's just mayhem out there. All right, now we have some cars in the pits. No Miller, Alex Coffey down in the pit lane. Kyle Heath obviously getting some damage there. He's gonna want to get that fixed up. Tommy Thompson in, getting everything fixed up that he can. David Guymond is in, but he is 6 laps down. Surprisingly, 15 of the 18 cars are still on the lead lap. I guess it's because we don't have too much time where they are they're passing each other and able to get a lap down, other than if they're getting damaged. And even then, the safety car gets thrown fairly quickly. The drivers get a little bit of time to get moving. Coming up on the halfway point here shortly. 45 laps. Or, not 45, 20 laps. My brain has hit a lull here. Anybody who has raised children or has children currently will know. First couple months of having a new baby, it'll take it out of you. Your mind will be mush. Blaine Wilson making up headway, 7 positions up from where he started. One of the owners of the league, Dakota Cleland, right there, giving a little bump draft on Blaine Wilson. Jump on board his cockpit here. Trying to save fuel, I think. Jokes, but you gotta have a little bit of lighter side when we have a race like this. 14 cautions, not even halfway through. Bunch of cars leaving the pits, getting back onto the track. Lap down, of course, since we're only a 20-second lap. And pits take about 30 to 40 seconds to fully complete if you're getting tires and fuel. And maybe closer to 25 seconds here at Martinsville. The hard part is this pit lane wraps all the way around the track. So seeing your pit line is a little rough. Blaine Wilson, though. Coming to the start. And off he goes. Blaine Wilson. Great jump on Dakota Cleland here. Dakota has teammate Patrick Mitrovic right behind him. Mitrovic is going to be trying to keep up with Cleland. Cleland doing a good job jumping ahead. And Frederick Larson getting a little bump there on Mitrovic. Mitrovic here. Larson getting pretty far into that corner when he's doing his trail braking. Same with Will Smith behind him. Mitrovic, I think, does a little bit early of a brake and then turns in, whereas Larson, I think, does braking while he's turning in. Same with William Smith, but Larson getting a little squirrely. Will Smith behind him might be giving him a little bump. Ooh, and Larson might be going for that inside move. He does not. Oh, he gives a bump on Mitrovic. Mitrovic goes round. They're still going, still going. Just some slower cars. We are still green somehow. Patrick Mitrovic gets a bump and run from Frederick Larson. Ellis gets around. William Smith gets around. Larson somehow gets away with that. Patrick Mitrovic saves it. Larson slows up enough. But we're starting to see the same thing behind here. Michael Mockwin fighting with Corey Buchanan in the 19 machine there. And you can see they're just going in at a goofy angle there, probably due to all the damage that their cars have sustained. And you see just different lines. Heath running away, different line. Oh, Buchanan with Heath. Buchanan is turned in the middle of the track. Mockwin having a hard time. 15th caution. Corey Buchanan is a roadblock there. Right at the start-finish line. Let's see what happened. Oh, nope. We're got to be looking at Corey Buchanan here. He is just spun around. And there he goes. It's like he might... He's struggling with that car there. Looks like Heath is right behind him there. Heath might be just having a better run. Oh no, it's the number 5 of Mockwin up high. I think he touches. No, looks like it might have been coffee. And there he goes. Not sure what happens. It's almost like his wheel just turns right. And we have Kyle Heath in the pits, Casey Ellis in the pits, Greg Pillar in the pits, Buchanan with that real hit, big hit into the wall in the pits, and David Goyman into the pits. William Smith leading us. Current moment. Blaine Wilson had pit a little bit ago. Let's look at our pit strategy going on here. Miller, 103 laps on his first stint there. Quite impressive. 12 laps on his current set of tires. I mean, fuel saving is a huge thing right now. Our drivers really aren't going to have to take too big of a fuel saver, just because they're kind of creeping along on the track, going 40 miles an hour, and they can, you know, do this in as high of a gear as they want. iRacing being a simulation, you can really creep at a low RPM and not use a whole lot of juice. So yeah, we see Larson came in lap 79. Smith came in lap 67, so that would have been the end of our stage. Hanley's been making a bunch of stops and somehow is in third. Not sure how that's working out. Kreuzer has made one stop at lap 67, stop at 62 for Mitrovic. Stop at lap 30 for Steele. He's just stopped 12 laps ago. And then we have Miller and Coffey stopped 13 laps ago and 11 laps ago. But Noah Miller on that 103 lap stint just holding it in there. And here we go. Single file still. I think it's helping, but I think our cars might be so damaged or tires so cold at this point that we're having a hard time getting going still. I do think the single file has helped. We've been getting 5-10 laps in before we have an incident, but we're still having our incidents. Once people start getting side by side, then we start having them. But William Smith leading us to the start. Frederick Larsen right behind him, the new guy in the league from Denmark, followed by TJ Hanley. And wow, oh, we're side by side with TJ Hanley and Frederick Larsen already. Frederick, not sure if he caught the start there or if Hanley just got a good jump on him. And Larsen doing a good job to hold off TJ Hanley. A little bit of bumping going on in the back here. William Smith looking like Larsen might be able to put down some good lap times and catch up to Smith. Not like that though. He's going a little bit wide. Do we have any side by side? Look like Blaine Wilson pushing up behind Dakota Cleland here. Dakota looked like he had just pit as well. Corey Buchanan with a 2X, which is a loss of control. We always like to check in on those, make sure he's not sideways on track. On a short track, like I said, most of it's blind, and even if it's not blind, if you're going down the straightaway and there's a roadblock, it's hard for these cars to maneuver out of the way. Frederick Larsen trying to keep up with William Smith. William Smith, one of our faster drivers, qualified third, but Frederick Larsen was right behind him, and TJ Hanley was right behind him. So we're all running third, fourth, and fifth qualifiers up in first, second, third right now. Richard Kreuzer here in the 90 machine, sticking with him a little wide there. Patrick Mitrovic's going to get on by. Noah Smith going to get on by in the number 8 machine. Kreuzer just has to hold on. See if he can't get out of the blender here. And he does. He's going to be able to get himself down to where he wants to be. Noah Miller working on Mitrovic's right now with the better tires. Mitrovic's give each other space here, boys. I know it's a short track. I know it's a lot of braking. There's not a whole lot of room. It's not very wide, but give each other just a little bit more space and we'll keep green. It's looking like we are keeping fairly clean. Let's take a look in at William Smith getting by some lap traffic of George Buck. Larsen having to go by the outside of these two cars as well. George Buck and Tommy Thompson. Larsen putting a little bit of a gap. Oh, another caution. What did we have go on here? Oh, it's our stage caution of lap 126. Funny enough, we still have stage cautions. And if we look at our pit strategies here, a couple cars out there for a while. Smith, Larsen, Handley all out there for a little bit. They might come down into pit lane. Miller out there for 20-something laps, 23. Kreuzer out there for 59, 21 from Coffey. And we'll see how, A, these cautions, but B, just like the different strategies and how. Yeah, I know, now we're halfway. And how we have really, you know, just mixed things up with how many cautions there have been, how many cars have spun out, how many have damage, how many don't have damage, how many have taken 2 tires, how many have taken any tires. It's crazy. We're up in the air on all of it. Strategies have gone out the window at this point. I think people are just stopping when they can or when they originally planned to. and you know, just however long fuel can take them. So we might have some strategies still going, but everybody else's brains, I'm sure, are a little fried on trying to calculate all this data that we have coming in for how many laps and how many tires we've used. Who knows? It looks like we do have some real big stints there from Smith, Larson, Miller, Cleland, Ellis before we had our stage break. And then our stage break, Cleland's in front. Ellis, Pillar, and Wilson are all there with them in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Coffee a little bit before that, caution before. But we have Smith and Larson. They're just kind of, seeing how long they can go on these tires. And yeah, we'll see if we can keep it green. That was a great start with a single file restart. So let's see what happens. We have a couple more laps here. Lights are still on the pace car. While we wait for these guys, we are going to get a quick drink, because this is a long broadcast. Well, here we go, getting ready. And there we are. William Smith has the jump. Frederick Larson getting pushed from behind by Noah Miller to start us here. Go to Cleland right behind them. He is the leader of the drivers that pit a little bit before the stage caution. But William Smith and Frederick Larson both have had some real big incidents. Oh no, we have something going on in the back. Pillar, Mitrovic, and Wilson getting into it a little bit. Wilson's still in it. Just really having a hard time getting by some of these slower cars. I mean, they take up a good half of the track. So slower car taking up half the track, it's hard to get around when you have zero space. And the part that you have to work with is that outside line. Oh, and we have Noah Miller going around. Let's see if he's able to get going again, or if we're going to have a caution here. Looks like we're going to have a caution. Roadblock in the middle of the track. Noah Miller. And this track being so small, there is not really any room to turn around, and by the time you have a little bit of a chance to turn around, the leaders are already right there with you. Let's see what happened there with Noah. Looks like he... I don't know if he outbrakes himself. Looks like might have been, yep, on the throttle. Cold tires, because I want to say Noah Miller just got new tires there. Oop, not lap times. We're looking at pit strategy. Noah Miller. Oh, we can't see it. It only shows top 8. Noah Miller is now back in 14th. We've had so many jumps. Forward, backward, left, right. Frederick Larson, the new guy, in first here. Crazy to think. Driving a Ford. The only other Ford anywhere in the top 10, we have TJ Hanley back in 9th and Greg Pillar in 10th. Those are our other Fords. Behind Frederick Larson, we got a handful of Toyotas. Dakota, Cleland, Casey Ellis, and Alex Coffey. Zachary Steele as well. Go Toyota, says Kelly. I've been muted for just a moment. We were just showing the Patrick Mitrovics and Blaine Wilson wreck there. Go Toyota, says Kelly. I might have bumped my mic. Accidentally turned it off. Frederick Larson's going to have our race start, though. This will be a first for Frederick. Number 77 machine. He normally runs number 7, but Tommy Thompson's got that number locked down, so double it up. Double up the luck. See if he can keep Dakota Cleveland at bay. As we are one more to green. We have Frederick Larson. We'll have the jump. There he goes, and he actually gets a pretty good jump there on Dakota Cleveland. Casey Ellis and Alex Coffey is hungry. Ellis is going to be pushed to the outside. Dakota Cleveland pushed to the outside too. Frederick is going to have a good gap there, but that's going to get cut down, I'm sure, fairly quickly by Alex Coffey. Alex Coffey is really quick at this track. Coffey by 2 cars very, very fast. Both cars having a little bit of trouble with their cold tires. Larson still out in front. Noah Miller and William Smith. Oh, we have a roadblock. Yep, there we go. That's going to be another one. We've got to hold our... Oh, yeah, he might not make it back to the pits, Noah Miller. Not quite sure what happened there. Let's take a look. This is Blaine Wilson, Noah Miller. Blaine Wilson looks like... Oh, man. William Smith, he's got to fix that net code, and then nowhere for Guiman to go. Yeah, that's a big time loss there. Big time loss. But we do have a bunch of cars pitting. Kyle Heath in, Noah Miller in, due to that damage more than likely. Dakota Cleveland in, and Corey Buchanan is in. Corey's been in for quite a bit, though. He's been in for about 20 laps. Noah cannot get his car stopped. Gonna have to bang out a lot of that damage. We still have Frederick Larson leading the race. Will Noah Miller be able to get out of the pits before, and yes he will, before the leader comes across that line? Heath as well, he'll be at the back of the line there. Yeah, just very unfortunate there for Noah. Already damaged up in the front. And then the thing is just the blinking of William Smith. He blinks and then he almost looks like he blinks closer to Noah. That's really got to get fixed there by William Smith. That's a real rough time to try and race with that. We do have Frederick Larson going to lead us once again. Pleasantly surprised to see the regular road racer able to do a little bit of short track here. Short track, once again, not the same as doing a 1.5 miles by any means. Doing a fantastic job sticking with these guys up front. Alex Coffey, real quick. He's probably going to try and get by Larson as quick as he can to, you know, obviously if we're under this many cautions, you know, the position is everything. It might be why Larson's been, you know, out for as long as he can. You know, positions everything. If we get going green, it might mean a little bit different, but these cautions keeping everybody really bunched up. Larson has the starting area cleared, and there he goes. He is off. Alex Coffey right there with him. Zachary Steele holding, and he's getting turned right away. Oh, don't drive down into him, Zachary. Oh, no. Gotta hold them brakes. You can't hit the gas. Gotta hold the brakes, come to a stop, and get going. That pace car didn't even go into the pits. He knew. He knew what was going on. Take a look here. Zachary Steele's perspective. Mitrovic just gets in on his quarter panel. Hey, you just gotta hold your brakes, live to fight another day. Yeah, just hold the brakes, get it going, you know, very slowly in the right direction, and then, you know, we'll be alright. Pace car just drove right through the pit lane. Didn't even stop. Wow. Zachary Steele coming to... Looks like maybe a stop. Might be having to let somebody by. There goes the 28 of George Buck. Stopped on that high line. Zachary Steele, yeah, he's gonna have to let somebody by. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Zachary, we do not do that. I think we just witnessed a retaliation by Zachary Steele. A very frustrating race here on Patrick Mitrovic. That is not how we race here in the Octane Outlaws. Oh, Miller has crashed. What's going on with Noah? He's probably just slowing down to let people by. Patrick getting back up into his position here. As Frederick will have our restart here. Gonna be waving TJ Handley around. Frederick up in front. Patrick Mitrovic back into third. TJ Handley got disqualified, it shows. Frederick Larson coming to the start. And away he goes. Alex Coffey right there with him. Patrick Mitrovic. Tommy Thompson, Noah Miller getting into it in the back. And here we go. Ooh, bump from Thompson. Wow, and again, another safety car getting deployed. Yes, it is. 20th caution here at Martinsville. I'm still blown away with what happened with the Mitrovics. You can see he's waiting for him there. He just turns right down into him, turn, spins. Like, that's just retaliation. I think Steele might get DQ'd for that one. See if Steele is back out on track. He is, and he is coming up on not being lapped anymore. And we might have a quick discussion with our stewarding team. We're going to be right back, folks. It's looking like Zachary Steele might get DQ'd here. Use that intentional spin. And Larson will lead us here. Still leading. Not sure how. He's been out for quite some time. Get back to our race here. And Coffee gives him a little bit of a bump. Larson waiting to the last second to get going. Larson on 80 laps of fuel here. We've seen a couple other drivers, Ellis being one of them, going 114 from Cleveland as well on their first big stints. But Larson just hanging in there, just hanging in first. He knows he can go a lot farther, so why not? Take that dashboard down. Larson doing a good job getting away as we jump back a little bit further. Richard Kreuzer, everybody stay in single file for the most part here. Some of these cars lap down, just hanging in there, hoping to get themselves unlapped. Looks like a few are pretty far behind. TJ Hanley, Tommy Thompson, William Smith, Corey Buchanan, all might just have too much damage to get out of this thing. We see Richard Kreuzer. Ooh, he got himself around, but it was a lone crash, so he's going to get going again. Frederick Larson coming up behind him. Alex Coffey. These guys are going to have a lot more speed than Kreuzer. Going to see Larson getting pushed a little bit wide by Coffey. No contact, but just that bodying of position there from Coffey. Larson keeping himself out of trouble here. Gonna have more speed down straightaway than Wilson, but Wilson's catching him too. Ellis spins himself out, touches the wall, but we are still green. Still green. He's gonna be able to get himself going. Coffey, Up ahead here, we have a car sideways in George Buck, and it's looking like, yeah, George Buck in the middle of the turn sideways. He's going to be able to get himself going again here with the caution. Gotta be, give each other space, guys. Gotta give each other space. '21st caution, 166 laps in. We still have about 84 laps to go here. My brain is working right after all this. George Buck. He might have beached himself here. I think he beached himself. Either that or he's really just waiting for people to go on by. Yeah, he's kind of beached. These cars drive so low to the ground. There's that little bit of a lip there in Martinsville that really disrupts the cars if you go too low. Noah Miller coming in. I'm not sure the stewards are going to black flag for Miller too coming into the pits. I'm not sure if the stewards are going to allow that to keep on going on. That'd be the iRacing stewards, not so much the Octane Outlaw stewards. If there's too much damage on the cars, the iRacing stewards will kick you on back. Make you get off the track and do a meatball flag. Noah Miller and George Buck in. Obviously, he had to reset due to beaching the car. Let's see what happened there with George Buck and Casey Ellis, it looked like. Casey Ellis had his own crash. George Buck was a separate story here. He just gets going. Kreuzer. Him and Kreuzer just side by side, almost taking out the leaders, which is crazy. Some of these guys in the back having a rough go at it. Short track is another animal. Once again, you have to do a lot of trail braking. It's not a 1.5 mile track. You have to get some practice in beforehand, and if you haven't had practice on the late model cars, if you haven't had practice on the short tracks in, a NASCAR style car, it is rough. Got to be able to use that left foot. Got to be able to trail brake. Got to get, a fairly steady braking point down. And if you don't, you have a lot of cautions. You have a lot of spins. You have a lot of turns where you're over braking. You have a lot of turns where, you just completely forget to brake. You try and just coast, and that doesn't work because you're over driving the turn. That practice really has to be there for these short track runs. Officially, the most cautions in an Octane Outlaws race so far, 21. Still have 80 laps to go, though. Alex Coffey's going to lead us here. See if Larson gives him a little bit of a bump before he gets going. He does not. Alex Coffey right away gets the jump. Wilson, we're side by side. Wilson and Larson. Larson on some old tires. We have Mitrovic and Cleland here. Teammates, so they might not fight too much. Heath, though, number 53, he is going to be fighting real hard as he gets by Patrick Mitrovic. Mitrovic right there behind him. Teammates Mitrovic and Cleland going to be trying to hold off Casey Ellis behind him. He's a few car lengths back, but Heath, hard charger right now. He's trying to get back up to the first place spot that he started in. Larson right in front of him. Larson a little bit slower on those older tires. A little less fuel, but old tires are not good for these short tracks. All about those tire temps and the tire grip left, and he doesn't have a lot left. Heath really gonna try and be careful around Larson. We have our longest green flag stint. I'm gonna jinx it here, but here we go. We jump up Alex Coffey in first. Blaine Wilson trying to catch him. Kyle Heath trying to catch the back of Blaine Wilson as he gets by Frederick Larson there. Oh, and Wilson goes wide. Larson gets sideways. We have a couple roadblocks as we deploy another yellow here. Even the top guy's running. Blaine Wilson with these cold tires. Jinxed it. I jinxed it on us. Blaine Wilson getting spun around there. Larson trying to get himself going. He sees a lot of cars coming. Ooh. Oh, doesn't have that rear view camera turned on. In this race, we might need to install some rear view cameras. Frederick Larson's going to get back up to the position he was in, or at least when the yellow flag comes out. Coffee coming down into the pits. See if we have anybody else coming in the pit. Coffee, Mitrovic stays out, Cleveland stays out, Ellis, Mokwin, Pillar, Kreuzer, Heath, Wilson. Larson is still out. Mitrovic's leading us here. See pit strategy where they are, if they are able to get to the end. We haven't had a full run on a tank of gas, so not quite sure how long we're going to be able to go on a full tank quite yet. I can only imagine some of these guys that are, 50 laps in, 35 laps in for Dakota. Ellis, 63 laps, 51 for Mokwin, 63 for Pillar, 50 for Kreuzer, 51 for Coffee, 50... Nope, that's 33 for Heath. It looks like he's come in and gone out, come in, gone out, come in, gone out a bunch of times. That's kind of rough. Heath coming out of the pits, Larson going into the pits. Still nobody else pitting. Blaine Wilson coming down. Kyle Heath coming down. They might just be holding off Frederick Larson on his pit, who he was up front as well. Larson going by those two. But great team effort here. Mitrovic, Cleveland, and Kreuzer all running in the top six. They have 3 of their teammates in the top 6. Mitrovic, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get to the end on this or if he's going to have to do a pit stop, but most of these cars in this top 7, 8, 9 are probably going to have to get a pit stop in. Blaine Wilson coming in, joining the party. As we have Patrick leading our race, gonna get us going green here again. Hopefully the last green that we have. We are off. George Buck having a hard time in the back, getting going. Not sure what happened with him. Couple cars out of position from where they should have been. Not sure what's going on with that. Yeah, oh, Frederick Larson got a black flag, it looks like, for passing George Buck under the safety car, but George Buck was almost stopped in front of the whole track there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Patrick Mitrovic's really leading the race here now. Him and Dakota Cleveland pulling away. Ellis is kind of I don't want to say a wall behind him, but Ellis is a little bit slower than Cleveland and Mitrovic. Kreuzer having a hard time. That right side of the car looking a little rough for Richard. Pillar in the back, and then Frederick Larson just trying to get back onto the main lap here. That is his goal. Dakota and Patrick really pushing for a 1-2 for the admin team here. I know they have a team name. I'm just not sure of their team. I've just always known them as the admin team. Patrick and Dakota really pushing, getting away from some of these guys behind, but Coffee now in third, looking to run that gap down really quickly. As we see, interval to Dakota is down to 7/10, goes down to 6/10, goes down to 5/10. Nope, go back up to 6/10. And yeah, Alex Coffee making short work. He must have some newer tires, it would seem. Yeah, he has much newer tires. Coffee only has about 5 laps, maybe, on those tires from our last caution. Greg Pillar had a little bit of an incident with the wall, but he's going again. Patrick Mitrovic. Oh, we have a lapped car. Is that Tommy Thompson? Looks like it might be Tommy Thompson. Oh, no. Getting into it with Coffee. Thompson, my man. Not sure what's going on with that. Yeah, Kelly, I will keep my mouth shut from now on. No more jinxing it. Patrick down into the pit lane. Kyle Heath down to the pit lane. Dakota staying out there. Mock went out, Wilson out, Ellis out, Mitrovic in, Kreuzer in 5th. With that car being so beat up, I am astonished that Kreuzer is having the time that he is. Being up in 5th is just astonishing. Larson down 2 laps. Coffee down 1 lap. Looks like he's going to get his lap back. Mitrovic in still. Ellis in still. Dakota now in. Thompson is in. That car is having a rough time. He's crabbing a little bit. Just trying to bring that car home, looks like. Aquin's our leader. Going to be leading us to... should be around lap 193, 194. Looks like... Alex Coffee is somehow in first. How's Coffee in first? Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, ain't right. Coffee was involved in an incident. Maybe it was the stage yellow at 89? Yeah, lap 189 would have been stage yellow. Maybe it got thrown right before Heath got into the incident? Or Coffee got into the incident? But I don't know. It's iRacing's got everything all jumbled up here. And I don't see any wave rounds on our race report. 1 lap to go with the green. Coffee somehow in first. Mockman in second. Blaine Wilson in third. Richard Kreuzer 4th with the really beat up car. It's just a show, you know, to be able to watch that he's able to keep it together. Oh, I guess he was in third, and we had both Dakota and Patrick both pit. So that would make him first. So he must have just gotten through that yellow before he got turned. So they put him back in position. Coffee going to lead us out. Here we go. Coffee, what a fantastic jump there. Michael Mockman in number 5 machine. going to be holding off Coffey's teammate Blaine Wilson there. Richard Kreuzer trying to keep up, but Blaine Wilson just going to breeze on by. Mitrovic's got a black flag for speeding in the pits, maybe. Not quite sure what the black flag is for. Alex Coffey getting a little bit of a gap. Wilson going to be trying to chase him down. Mockman in third. Kreuzer fourth still. He's going to be fighting off Kyle Heath, and Kreuzer really having a hard time holding that 90 machine on the road. He's just trying to keep up into the main lap, as we're approaching lap number 200 here very shortly. Mitrovic's out of the pits. Now 2 laps down. We have 1 car, 1 lap down, Frederick Larson, so he will be the lucky dog if we get another caution here to get back on the main lap. Pit strategy looking like most people are going to be able to get to the end of the race. Kreuzer will have to pit, Pillar will have to pit, and Mockwin will have to pit. That moves a few people up a couple positions, as long as it keeps clean. Uh-oh, we have a Michael Mockwin sideways, and he is able to get going again. That's not going to trigger a caution since it's only him on the track. Let's jump back up to Coffey. Coffey there in first. Blaine Wilson real close behind. Heath catching both of them, though. Running down Blaine Wilson currently. Dakota Cleland in fourth. Kreuzer somehow holding on to fifth, fighting off Casey Ellis and Greg Pillar. Ellis into the wall. He's trying to hold it together till the end of the race here, guys. We can do it. We can do it. And Ellis just dragging the wall. As he touches the wall again. Alex Coffey, though, coming down the front stretch. Lap 201 here. Kreuzer and Larson together. Looks like they're just bumping. Where did Kreuzer end up? Still there. George Buck and Alex Coffey together. George Buck just trying to get out of the way of Alex Coffey there. Coffey, you can see those brakes lighting up in the rear. Just dragging those brakes as, you know, smoothly as can be. Casey Ellis cleared his meatball flag with his fast repair, looks like. And Alex Coffey making a big jump back up to first. That is huge for him because you remember earlier on in the race, he spun it and had a rough go, and it's, you know, been a great strategy and a great charge to get back up into first. Go to Cleveland having a little bit of a turn on his own. Loss of control, keeps it on the track. George Buck going to come down into the Patrick Mitrovic. Oh my, George Buck. Just keep the cars off the line or under control. That's all we're asking. Just keep it under control. You don't need to be the fastest. Casey Ellis coming out of the pits. Keep it under control. Mockwin is the last car on the main lap. George Buck, real slow, coming into the pit lane. Not sure what he's doing there. Might be having some kind of technical issue. Yep, he jumps the pits. I can only imagine that'll be the end of it for George Buck as Alex Coffey passes Tommy Thompson, Blaine Wilson, and Kyle Heath right there, all getting by Thompson. There we have Guimond. Now you can really tell the drivers that have really raced short track and the ones that are not as comfortable. You can tell right away. And George Buck in the pit still. We have Blaine Wilson, Kyle Heath, Dakota Cleland, and Richard Kreuzer. Getting away from Greg Pillar a little bit. Michael Mockwin here in seventh. Oh, and he's going to go almost sideways. He did this earlier, too. gonna get going again. And he's gonna have Frederick Larson, who is on the prowl to get by Machwin. He's trying to get himself unlapped. So another caution would get him the lucky dog. And then that would bring him up to 8th place behind Machwin, Pillar, Kreuzer, Cleland. We'll see if we have anybody else that spins out. That causes a caution for Frederick Larson. And then behind him, Patrick Mitrovic would be the next in line for the lucky dog pass around. And then after that, Casey Ellis. But both of them are down 2 laps, whereas Larson's only down to 1. Ooh, and we are going to have... Looks like we did hit the threshold. Guiman, Mitrovic, and Kreuzer. Did we jump to a car that's not on track anymore? Kreuzer sideways in the turn. Let's see what happened there. Overlay having a hard time getting itself off of the screen. Well, that was the Machwin. We saw Michael Machwin do his crash. Tommy Thompson here, though. That might have been the one. Tommy Thompson going around. Yep, this is Richard Kreuzer here with him. Thompson, Kreuzer. Oh, Kreuzer just catches the quarter panel and is, right in the racing line. And he pulls up to try and get out of the way, but yep, then the caution is thrown there. Larson's going to be able to unlap himself on this, get up to, can I believe it, 6th place. Nope, 7th place. He'll be behind Greg Pillar, but he will be unlapped. I think everybody that has pit or is pitting currently will be able to get to the end of the race. Corey Buchanan, back about 20 laps. He had a lot of repairs going on. He's just trying to get himself up past George Buck, maybe Tommy Thompson in total lap numbers, but they are still out on track. They might get, that meatball flag having to go in, get some repairs. Caution number 24. We hit number 25, then we have a caution every 10 laps. Quite incredible. Coffee leading us, Wilson behind, Heath behind him. Machwin, is he going to be in 4th, or is it going to be given to Cleland? It's going to be given to Cleland, looks like. And Pillar, Machwin will file in after he's out of the pits. Frederick Larson should file up a little bit past some of these cars. Actually, no, he's right where he needs to be. Larson should get the wave around, though, I would believe, at the lucky dog. Just like Coffee had a couple times. Beautiful evening here in Martinsville. We look at our race info. Track temp still holding it at 79, 76 degrees here in Martinsville. 60-degree humidity, cloudy night. $2-mile-an-hour wind. And once again, we're going 250 laps here. Coffee gonna lead us to the line for the 25th time. Let's get our start underway. We have some side-by-side action going on with Larson. Ooh, wow, almost takes the back of Pillar right off. Larson trying to get himself unlapped for sure. Machwin ahead of him is way in the back. Coffee, though, up front. Fighting Blaine Wilson, Kyle Heath, Dakota Cleland. 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then Pillar is pretty far back. Machwin back from him, and Larson kind of in the middle of the mix there for the top 7. That's when we start getting all jumbled up. But this is our race right now. This is race for first. I mean, we only have 40 or 30 laps left here in the race. And Coffee, Wilson, and Heath all running similar lap times. All of their bests are within 5/100ths of each other. These cars really getting pushed to their abilities. Not sure what our fuel strategy is going to be looking like. Looks like Michael Mockman has crashed as well again. He might have bumped the wall a little bit, but he's out on his own. He's still going. Blaine Wilson, Kyle Heath, Dakota, Greg Pillar, Larson trying to catch up to Dakota Cleveland here. Lapped car. Dakota gonna try and hold him off. Right now, running the fastest laps, we have Blaine Wilson by a couple 100ths of a second. He's gaining surely, very slowly but surely, very small chunks. And that might have hurt Alex Coffey there. He had Tommy Thompson in the way, right in the driving line. And Dakota Cleveland and Frederick Larson are going to have the same thing going on. Tommy Thompson just trying to stay out the way, but if you're racing, you're going to be in the way eventually. Larson pushing Cleveland to try and make a mistake. Coffee now able to get a little bit of a gap. If I am correct, let's take a look here. Was not Coffee. Oh, it was Cabe McClenny in our first race that was in a short track car, I believe. But yeah, cutting his teeth on the short tracks. That is great to hear. It's normally where iRacing is. You start out real life. You start out, at your local short tracks. George Buck might be in the way here. Looks like he is. Coffee and Wilson getting by, and 24 laps to go here at Martinsville. We're finally getting some good racing going. Michael Mockman down in 6th, holding pretty well. Dakota Cleveland in 4th. Looks like Larson is technically on the lead lap. No, he's not. Never mind. It was showing on my graphic he was on the lead lap, but he is just behind the leaders. But these three are going to hold real close to each other. Those brakes really glowing. Alex Coffey hoping he's not going to get any brake fade from braking that hard. As you can see, those things are just piping hot. But you'll see that in all the cars. If we look down at Blaine Wilson now, see his are red hot. Kyle Heath is red hot. Ooh, big wreck going on with Richard Kreuzer. And David Guymond. Guymond's back in the pits. Kreuzer still going. Sounded like it might have just been a little bit of a tussle between the two. But Bandoleros and Legends, and then Outlaw late models for Alex Coffey, and you can tell it pays off. He is flying around the track. Teammate Blaine Wilson, Kyle Heath, Dakota Cleveland. I'm not sure what his short track experience is, but Greg Pillar, Michael Mockman hanging in there. Larson 1 lap down. Richard Kreuzer with the car that he has. I'm surprised he's in the top 10. Bravo to you, Richard. Patrick, another lap down from that. Casey Ellis, a lap down from that. It's actually looking like we're going to have a little bit of a slow go here. We got 2x2x2 cars that are slower, cars that are faster, cars that are struggling. They're not under control, and Coffee is going to be coming up to that whole pack of misguided cars there. Oh, I don't know what else to even call them. They're all, going at their own pace. They're just trying to keep it together to the end of the race. And, you have a battle for 1, 2, 3 with Coffee, Wilson, Heath breathing down their neck. Dude, that's Casey Ellis right up ahead of Coffee. Oh, that is Corey Buchanan there. Corey knows what to do. He gets out of the way, just lets the leaders on by. That's perfect. Tommy Thompson, on the other hand, he is right in the way of the leaders. It's passed again. I think that's 2 or 3 times in the last couple laps here. Jump back to Dakota Cleland. Oh, Dakota smacking the wall a little bit there. He's got to hold that thing together. Frederick Larson. Oh, it looks like Larson got by Cleland at some point there. Chasing down. There's a lap down, but he's trying to get himself unlapped. As I keep hearing cars hitting the track wall and just a cluster. Yeah, a cluster is a good way to put it. Coffee still closing in on the cluster. Richard Kreuzer does go down into the pit lane. He might have to top off for fuel just to get to the end. 13 laps to go here. Look at our pit strategies, though, for the top guys. Kreuzer 108 out there. Yeah, he's going to have to go pit. Larson 59. Machwin 23, 25, 25 for Pillar and Cleland. Then 49, 59, 61 for Heath, Wilson, and Coffee. They should be able to get to the end, as we have Michael Machwin had a little bit of a bump somewhere. Looks like he's doing okay, though. Coffee still catching, Coming up on 10 laps to go here for Alex Coffee, Blaine Wilson, Kyle Heath, and company. And it only took until lap 200 to get some green lap racing going. A new record for incident points, too, I believe. 588 incident points as of right now. Season high, even for Daytona, where we had almost 40 drivers. As Coffee gets on by Tommy Thompson. Frederick Larson still trying to get himself unlapped here. Don't think it's going to happen. Some more lap traffic here for Alex Coffee. Ellis is down in 10th. It's going to be right there. Number 5 looks like of Michael Machwin. He's going to be next on his list to get by. Machwin running in 6th, so this is how close these cars are together. Machwin in 6th. Kreuzer coming down into the line with significantly less speed. He's going to have to get out of the way of the leaders here. Try and hold his own up high. He does. That's the leaders on by. Coffee getting slowed up a little bit there, though, by Machwin. Machwin not wanting to give up too much speed because he has Larson trying to catch on up with him. Ooh, Wilson gets spun. Oh no, he almost got spun. He was a little bit sideways. Wilson just holding in there against Michael Machwin. Looks like David Goyman had a little bit of an incident too, jumped to pits. And there it is, Kyle Heath. Oh, goes around, he's still going. Is Dakota Cleland able to catch on up to him? He's been losing time this whole race. Cleland fighting with Pillar. And now Heath is going to be fighting for his life. Getting into it with a couple lapped cars. Blaine Wilson fairly clear. But Alex Coffey has lapped cars all over him, including Dakota Cleveland, who's fighting for fourth, trying to go for third. Pillar up into the wall. Not sure what's going on here. White flag coming across for Alex Coffey right now. Blaine Wilson and Kyle Heath, the only other ones that are on the main lap. Everybody else down a lap, and it looks like... Here we go. Alex Coffey gonna make it across the line. Blaine Wilson in second. Heath is gonna get across in third. Leland's already finished in fourth. Pillar fifth. Michael Mockman sixth. Frederick Larson in seventh. In the number 77. Mitrovic in eighth, and number 4 Machine Ellis in ninth. Richard Kreuzer in 10th. Tommy Thompson in 11th. George Buck in 12th. Corey Buchanan 13th. And we'll read the rest of them off here in just a moment. What an ending there. Heath was right on the tail of Wilson and got taken out there. But let's see Coffey doing his donuts here. Hard fought win. A lot of traffic to get through. A lot of cars having a hard time on track. But, oh man. 2 hours, 20 minutes later, we are done with Martinsville. It's done. It's dusted. We are going to be on to our next race, which I believe is another mile-and-a-half track. Pull up our schedule and see where we're going next. Yeah, looks like Atlanta will be at next. I know Coffey is really good at the mile-and-a-halves. Wilson is as well. We go to Atlanta, and then after that, we go to a street course with Chicago Street, and then we go back to a short track in Bristol, then Talladega, then Pocono. But this was a halfway point in their season, folks. We are halfway through the first season of the Octane Outlaws, and, you know, we've had some caution fests, but some fantastic racing along the way as well. Looks like Coffey's trying to grind himself out. Coffey not quite in the waiting room yet. Let's see if we can't jump on in with him right now. Alex, do I got you down there in Victory Lane?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Awesome drive there. We saw a couple, maybe more than a couple cautions, but you know, some real ups and downs. Quite a roller coaster of a session that you had there, but you come away with the win. With all the cautions and all the wrecks and everything, strategy almost seemed like it went out the window for a lot of teams. What did you and the team do to try and get yourselves out front at the end there?
We just pretty much waited till we could make it on fuel if we pitted again and planned on that being the last one so we could cycle back up and end up working out.
Well, that is a great strategy. Awesome to hear. You know, you short track aficionado, it sounds like from our chat here on YouTube. Your mom, Kelly, is, you know, talking you up quite a bit on the short tracks, you know, saying that that's where you grew up and that's where, you know, you cut your teeth. That is awesome to hear. You know, how does that play into this win compared to some of these other guys that seem to really struggle out on the track?
Yeah, definitely just it helps with the braking zones and getting in a rhythm. I mean, these short tracks are just all rhythm based. You just gotta stay in rhythm, and if you mess up, whoever can get back in rhythm the quickest usually turns out to be quick. So just making sure you hit your marks. I hit the curb early on, sent me to the back, which was very unfortunate mistake on my part again, like last week, but we were able to have a long enough race, I guess, this week to get back up there.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of cautions to allow a little bit of I want to say it, recovery time, and getting back up with, getting back on the main lap, getting back, in contention, getting your strategy back on track. So we're glad to see you back up here again, Alex. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Oh yeah, shout out to all the admins that put it on the league, and shout out to you for broadcasting every week. Shout out to teammate Blaine, and Kyle was also real quick too, but he kind of was in the same situation as me of getting stuck back in the mess sometimes. So I think he caught a good bit more damage than me up through. So shout out to him as well.
Yep, yeah, we saw him recover from a little bit of a bump on the last few laps there. So Kyle able to recover, get back on track with you guys, and have a great team finish.
Yep.
But we'll
Look forward to. I believe it said New Atlanta next week. It's my home track. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yep, yeah, we're going Atlanta, and then we're going to be going to Chicago Street Course after that. So we have another mile and a half, which seems to be the favored track for the league. Obviously, we do the best there when it comes to cautions and green flag racing, but we'll see how that turns out once we go to Chicago. But we will leave you there. Great racing, and we hope to see you again next week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, now we have Blaine Wilson here up in the booth. Blaine, do I got you down there on track?
Sure.
How about that race? Tons of caution going on there, but how'd you guys end up getting a good team result with a 1-2-3 there?
So I knew Alex is really good at the short tracks. He's helped me out a lot at a lot of different short tracks and just this style of racing. Because I not very good here. I don't personally enjoy them. I mean, I do, but they're not definitely not a top 15 track for me by any means. So it was fun. It was a grinder. Every single Martinsville race I've ever attended, witnessed, or raced in has been about the same. So it's just caution filled. You just have to grind it out. And that's a big part of it. You got to have the mental fortitude to keep going even after the 40th caution. And we got second out of it. So that's good.
Hey, we only had 24 cautions here, so.
Close.
But yeah, I mean, it was like you said, pretty much a caution fest for a good majority of the race. I think the last 50 laps or so, we ended up going green. But like up until that point, how are you guys like trying to manage strategy with all the cautions? How are you guys adjusting for fuel and how are you guys keeping yourselves in the race still while all this is going on? It seems like there's 1,000 different things being thrown at you while you're on track. How do you process all that while you're also racing?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. You got to make quick decisions, especially avoiding cars that are spun out. The obstacle courses on the straightaways, you got to get around those. Keeping your car clean is huge. We had a fast repair. I did have to use mine tonight. I had like 3.5 minutes of optional. Figured I'd just take the fast repair, and luckily we didn't get any other big damage after that. And the fuel strategy in this league is always a big determining factor. So it wasn't a huge problem tonight with all the yellows that we had. Tires weren't too big of a factor either. I mean, they were, but it took a long time for them to heat up, and they'd cool back down right away again under all the yellows. And it was just really just keeping the car clean, staying out towards the front end, and trying to have fun. And we did.
Yeah, it was quite the race to watch. We were really rooting for a caution-free race like we've had in the past. Obviously, Martinsville is a whole different story, but some real good racing there at the end. It was fun to watch. You, Alex, and Kyle all battle it out there. So it was just getting to that point to where we had some green flag racing. That was probably the most fun part of this night, was just watching those last 50 laps unfold. So we will leave you with that. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out Alex coming out here. I think this is his first win of the season, but he's fast every week, so keep your eyes out for him for sure. Shout out to you for broadcasting us, sticking through it with us. I know it probably takes a toll on you as well, just watching us pace. And everybody who watched the stream tonight, thanks for tuning in as well. I know it's not the most exciting thing, maybe, but maybe drama filled is why you show up. So there's definitely some drama out there, but next week we'll clean it up and have fun at Atlanta.
Yep, yeah, another mile-and-a-half track there. Atlanta is going to be a good time. So we are looking forward to. We're going to cross fingers here and say another caution-free race like we've had 2 times before. Maybe 1 or 2, but definitely not 24 like we saw tonight.
Yeah, I hope so, but I'll be there next week, hopefully talking to you again. We'll see.
Yep, well, we hope to see you again up here next week, Blaine. We will catch you later.
Thanks. See ya.
All right, now we have in the booth here Kyle Heath. Kyle, do I got you?
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
What a race and what an ending. We saw you get tapped there a little bit towards the end, and that was probably quite nerve-wracking with Dakota kind of breathing down your neck about a half a lap down from you.
Yeah, I mean that was nerve-wracking at the end, but it was a fat last 50 laps to the end right there. There was a little bit of a checkup. What was that on 3 laps ago or something like that? 2 laps ago, I had to do a quick checkup and locked them down a little bit more than I anticipated. Saved it, good thing, because I didn't want no caution to come out. You know, I just wanted to get this race over with.
Yep, yeah, I mean, cautions left and right all race. What was the strategy to try and avoid some of these cautions and avoid some of the demolition derby that seemed to be going on track for most of the race?
I mean, I was part of a couple cautions there. Got kind of caught up into. I had about middle of the race. I had about a 4.5 minute worth of damage, and all those cautions actually helped me out to get all of that fixed up because I'd already had to use my fast repair. But yeah, I mean the strategy played out just to be able to come in, fix my damage, take some tires whenever I needed to because tires wasn't an issue tonight, but it did help out, especially entering the corner and the center off big time to be able to get that power down. A lot of rear braking really warmed up the rear tires in order to kind of not let you get full throttle whenever you wanted to. But all in all, I mean, got out here with a top 3 finish. I mean, I couldn't be more happier.
Yep, yeah, we are happy to talk to you again up here in the booth, and a 3rd place and team sweep of the top 3. That's not a bad deal there. And like we saw, I mean, we're seeing in the replay here right now, those brakes were just red hot, and just a lot of people were having that rear end issue. You couldn't get on the throttle coming out of the turns. You had to really feather it and be careful. And saw that be the end of a lot of people's races. So good on you guys to keep that under control enough and be able to get back into it. Coffee had his spin out, and he went to the back. He had some blunders. Wilson just tried to keep it slow and steady, and then even with your damage, you were able to get top 3. So great effort from you guys. Any shout outs that you want to give before I let you go?
I mean, yeah, I mean, the top 2, I mean, the top 3, we pretty much, I mean, we battled out through all the way through the end, man. We from the back to the front, from the back to the front, so many times it felt like a race within a race itself. I mean, I want to give a big shout out to this crew over here, man. They stuck it out to the end on Martinsville. There's been plenty of races and plenty of leagues I've been at Martinsville, and it's a crap show. I mean, I don't think there's been one race at Martinsville I've ever been in where we actually had more than 50 laps worth of green flag runs. At the end here, I was happy that we had, I think it was like a little less than 50 laps run. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, give a big shout out to the crews out here, the admin. I mean, they're doing their best to, you know, first time in this league right here, doing their best to keep it going. A lot of good drivers in here, and they got you aboard. I mean, for people to be able to watch and have fun with us and go through the turmoil that we're going through. And shout out to the fans out there that's watching it. I mean, a lot of family members out there watching the race. Give a big shout out to my wife. She puts up with me 24/7, 365 days a year. I mean, if it weren't for her, I really wouldn't be able to do some of this racing.
Well, yeah, that is always a good shout out to give. I know when I race, I shout out my wife as well. You know, they're our support, and they're the ones that allow us to do some of this stuff. So great shout outs there. We will let you go, Kyle. Great race, and we hope to see you on the podium again coming up at Atlanta next week.
Oh, heck yeah. I wish it was old Atlanta. New Atlanta, I mean, it's another crapshoot race. We don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be a learning experience for some drivers, you know. But the thing is, you know, just got to have patience, you know. Can't make moves whenever you think you can.
Yep. Yeah, it's you know, you gotta, like you said, patience is a big factor in the league here. Especially, you know, you get a caution here or there that helps you out. Being patient is always gonna be the better route to go, rather than try and be that little too aggressive. Take yourself out of the race for good. So good words there, and I will leave you there, Kyle. And like I said, hope to see you again next week.
Yep, you sure will.
All right, that was Kyle Heath, our third place finisher. We'll go down our line here with our our final grid. A lot of people from the front to the back to the front, up and down, you know, all over the place. So we'll start off Alex Coffey taking the win, Blaine Wilson taking second, and Kyle Heath, all three teammates taking the podium there. Clean sweep of the podium for these guys. Dakota Cleland in fourth, Greg Pillar in fifth, Michael Moquin in sixth, Frederick Larson in seventh, Patrick Mitrovic in eighth, Casey Ellis in ninth, Richard Kreuzer in 10th, Tommy Thompson in 11th, George Buck in 12th, Corey Buchanan in 13th, David Guimond in 14th, Noah Miller 15th, TJ Hanley 16th, William Smith 17th, and Zachary Steele in 18th. It has been quite the night, everybody out there in Octane Outlaws land, but we are done here at Martinsville. We go on to Atlanta next week. We hope to have a little bit shorter of a race, obviously less cautions, a little bit quicker of a of a race when you have 1 or 2 cautions rather than 24 like we saw tonight. But we hope that we run clean next week. Big shout out to the guys that run this league and put it on, and the admins and the stewarding and everybody out there that helps. Even bigger shout outs to TH Designs, one of our sponsors there, TJ Handley, running the 08 car. Not a lucky night for him, but you know, if anybody needs designs done, virtual paints for iRacing, just go to him. He is a wizard with paints. Just message him in the Discord. And then our other sponsor there, Soapaz Painting Co. out of Wisconsin. Anywhere in Wisconsin, need something painted, go to Soapaz Painting Co. And you're very welcome, Mr. Moquin. Everybody else out there, have a great night. We are signing off from WA Broadcasting. We'll see you again for the Octane Outlaws Week 7 in Atlanta.